All right.
Awesome. Perfect. So, this is an interview for the Music Inclusion Coalition, part two with Jose Leon. We had a little bit of technical difficulties last time, which you will notice if you did watch. So, we're going to pick it back up and do part two.
All right. Excellent.
Great. So, for those of you who haven't seen part one, this is Jose. Jose, if you want to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Jose Leon, and I'm a trombone professor in South Florida, Florida Atlantic University, and Florida Gulf Coast University, and also member of different institutions here as a trombone player, Florida Grand Opera and the Sinfonia. And I'm very happy to be invited to the Music Inclusion Coalition as one of their artists and ambassadors, and I'm very happy to be here with you guys today.
Wonderful. Well, we're so happy to have you, and thank you for coming back for part two. So, our part one, we covered a lot of different topics, one of which was El Sistema, which was the only part that somehow the file got corrupted and we missed out on. So, we wanted to bring you back to talk about El Sistema because it is such a unique, um, kind of program and system that you were a part of growing up. And so, if you can kind of talk about what El Sistema is for us, I think that'll be a great starting point. So, for anyone that doesn't know El Sistema, maybe you could give kind of just a brief what exactly that it looks like, and also kind of talk to what it's like to have a country that supports the arts because we see that our schools are constantly being defunded. It's always outside of school. The people that are able to play in orchestras here tend to have be in a different socioeconomic background, things like that. So what is it like to have a country that supports and builds up their arts programs at such a young age?
Well, it's a beautiful resource, and if you see it from a certain point of view, it's actually a very smart resource to tackle different aspects in society, all at the same time. So, for example, number one, access to art and cultures is considered to be a right, not a luxury. So because of this, any student, any kid is have access to a musical instrument and have access to a program that will probably see you, um, getting away from trouble, especially at the younger age. The program was conceived as a social program to be able and to help to take young kids out of the streets and not having, for us, not having the opportunity to have to encounter any dangers that was going on, or anything that happens outside of the school. We are giving an instrument, a musical instrument, that actually takes a lot of time to focus, to concentrate, to work on, and that prevent us from being distracted by the negative components that happen in society that can affect young people, such as, you know uh, 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 drugs, or street gangs and things like that. So that program helped a lot, and every single government, no matter the color of the government, they all saw in El Sistema a really good tool for them to tackle this, and it was very visionary. The other thing is, besides the social service, is also the ramifications, because you don't only, as I mentioned before, you don't only are teaching an individual to play an instrument, but you're also giving them tools to become a responsible person, to become a citizen, to become a server. And no matter the career this person decides to approach in their adult life, there are all these fundamentals that we learn here that get easily translated to any other aspect of society: organization, responsibility, teamwork. So it is very important for a government to sustain this. But the other thing that makes it interesting is that through teaching all this vast amount of students and young people, you're actually creating your own audience. You're actually creating the opportunity for these people to attend concerts, to buy tickets, to support the orchestras, to attend the performances. And if you notice, before all this situation was happening, one of the curious aspects that happen in live concerts, for example, in Venezuela, is that you see the audience, and the audience is very young in average. You could see a theater packed with people that are probably between teenage years to, I don't know, to 50 or 40 years old, 40, 50 years old, and it's all packed. And every single concert was like that, because you have a member of the orchestra that probably has a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a partner, and this partner has another friends that has another friends that have another friends. All of a sudden you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people coming to support one person, but multiply that for all the numbers of the members of the orchestra. And because it's not seen as an elitist part of society, and it's open, everyone is invited, and a lot of people attend the invitation. So it's something that you can. I remember in my teenage years basically just going out with my friends, and part of going out was, let's go listen to the Philharmonic first. The Philharmonic used to play concerts at 11 in the morning on Sundays, and we were like, okay, let's go see the Philharmonic, and then we go do what any other teenagers do, go grab ice cream, go to a movie or whatever like that. But we started our going out or our date or whatever hang we have with our friends by going to a concert. So that was an element there, because then there was this little competition in between us, that who knows more about what we're listening to, who really or who wanted to impress a girl, something as simple like that. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna learn this because I want to impress her or something. I mean, it was from the most complex idea to the most simple idea. They all conjure together and live with each other. So between giving the opportunity to any people, no matter the place in society, no matter their economical status, and giving everybody the opportunity to be in touch to the arts, gave the art themselves so much importance, especially music, gave a sense of importance in society. So people in every single town, they start owning their own youth orchestra, or their local orchestra, and they saw it as a representation of their town, of their culture. And because of this, they proudly said, oh yeah, that orchestra is from my hometown. Yeah, that's my hometown orchestra, or that's part of their representation, because my town is like that. Is the people feeling proud about that. So there is a mix of so many aspects that we're missing here, just because the problem that happens here, and this is something I have always said, we have a great opportunity to have something like El Sistema right here in the US, because every single public schools have music programs, have art programs. Every single school have that. So you don't need extra funds to actually have something that looks like El Sistema. But instead, I see the government, or the people in charge start doing the opposite, defunding it. And with which reason? Well, because they haven't worked in developing the reasons. all those reasons that I just something that countries, and when I say countries, I start from a wider point, going all the way down to a school. There's nothing that you recognize any other countries or countries is famous for because of what? Sports and the arts. Sports and the arts. So that happens in the wide world of countries. That also happens in the world of schools. The majority of schools are well known out there because of what? Sports and the arts. Or when people see the sports and the arts, then they go looking forward to everything else that that school has to offer. But the more visible thing are sports and the arts. So why defunding one of those major components of your school? Why defunding the major component of society? And we're living that in a hard way right now because of because of the COVID-19 that really show and kind of make crystal of a situation that has been there and has been there underneath unnoticed and now is being very noticeable. I just heard 2 days ago that the Broadway, for example, Broadway just canceled the entire season until May.
Until
That's
June.
until June. Imagine that.
They pushed it another month already.
That's devastating because as I was explaining to someone else, I was explaining to someone because I think there is a politician here running for a local office that she was saying that she will approve a budget for to rescue the arts and culture, and there were a lot of people or some people that were criticizing her and saying that that was not proper, that was not we don't need the arts, we don't need that. And there was someone that said give them money to the airplane companies because those are the ones that actually make more money. And I said have you seen how much the arts produce? And I said only downtown Miami, for example, only downtown Miami, the performing arts, the art center for the performing arts in downtown Miami that has the opera house and has the concert hall, okay, have not been producing all this time. You know what that means? All the restaurants in the area have been affected. The tourism in the area has been affected. Everything in the area has been affected. All the offices have been affected. Everything in that area depends on the performing arts, indirectly or directly. I went around the area a couple of months ago because there is a place around the theater that sells one of the best Cuban foods I've always tried, and I always go there in the when I have opera and I have a dress rehearsal and then I have a concert. So I just go out in the intermission and I walk to the restaurant and get a couple of empanadas and stuff. Those are like the best in town. So my wife loves it too. So we were in the area and we went like, hey, let's go get empanadas now that we're in the area. All those restaurants are closed. All those restaurants are they all folded. They all look abandoned. And that's how much the art. I mean, I was describing it to them. It's not only musicians, it's not only the people on stage that you see there, but everything that is behind that. You know how many people work in every single opera function that we have, every single opera performance that we have. If you have you ever been backstage? Have you ever been
You
from the
have
very
stage
from the
hands, you have the stage managers, you have the people that are running the booth, you have
not even
all
that,
of the
security.
security, you
You have
have the
security, you have the
administration.
police outside. Police makes extra money with this. That's not part of their salary,
And
that's
then you have
extra
the whole
money.
business
And
element of it, to the
yeah,
people that are marketing it and
the offices,
hosting
secretaries.
and
Yeah, I mean there is a full company going on behind it. I mean, if you talk about artists and musicians, we're the tip of the iceberg. There is all these elements going on down here. Everything that's going on and is related to it. So it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. and we're not even talking about Hollywood. We're not even talking about the super major top of the industry. We're talking about mid to low parts of
Well,
the
and we'll
industry.
we'll take out this statistic if it's wrong. Josh can fact check me. I think that the statistic I read when I was doing my master's in performing arts administration was that the arts actually contribute more to the U.S.'s GDP every year than agriculture.
Ah,
So we are a bigger part of the fabric of the economy than agriculture. So
yeah.
it's definitely it is wildly important. So
Yeah, there were other people that I was telling them, in this quarantine, what has been your source of, sanity to stay home and stay sane and don't go crazy. Oh well, I have Netflix, I have this and that, all those kind of sorts. Sorry, I have to put that voice because that is how I hear them. When they start talking without knowing what they're talking about, that's the voice that comes to my mind. So sorry about that. But geez, I was telling them, okay, so you hear Netflix, imagine your favorite show in Netflix with no music or no art or no quality of picture, or all of that is made by artists. Everything that you're enjoying there has been a full cast of artists working really really hard at the burst of their craft to do that. And for every 20 minutes that you see in a sitcom, there are days and days and days of work just to see a few minutes of the final result. Okay, and to get it at the high quality that you like to see and that you like to pay for, it takes a lot of time. You know how much it takes for a good musician to actually being able a musician to record in those shows that you love so much. You know how much the actors have to study, have to prepare, have to be ready to work on those roles that you love so much. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a high quality individual to be able to deliver that to you. So I think the problem here is that the arts still being seen as a luxury, as something that is just for the elite, and something that is irrelevant for society, when it's totally the opposite. And that is what El Sistema changed in Venezuela in this case. El Sistema changed that mentality all big time. Before El Sistema, in Venezuela, being a musician was equally to be an alcoholic, or to be someone not worth, someone that just a party guy or something like that. I mean, it was never related to actually a profession. Every single time you said, "Oh, I'm a musician," people say, "Oh, great. What else do you do? What do you do for a living?" That happens here. That's still happening here. Okay, and we're living in an industrialized country. And how come, an developed country is able to keep the art as a profession at the same level as any other profession. And when you say that you play with the symphony orchestra, people actually respect you and say, "Oh, wow, that's fantastic." And then here you say that, and then they also tell you, "Oh, that's awesome, yeah, all right, well, what else do you do? What else do you do for a living?" Unfortunately, it has not been taught in the culture. And that also comes from school. Teachers have to make sure that they teach their students the other part of learning music in this case, but this applies to all the arts. But they need to make sure that they teach their students the importance of the arts in society, the importance of music in society, and letting them and teach the students that although they are doing this as an extracurricular activity, there are people that after school are actually professionals at all of these activities and at all of these elements that they do and they learn in school. So that is the reason there are. I remember when I used to be a band director, I used to teach my students beyond the band room. I used to teach them. Sometimes I decided to make part of my curriculum to show them all the professions that exist within the music industry, and to let them know that what they're doing here, what you guys are doing here, is just a little bit of an example of what really happens outside in the real world. So they understood and they respected the artists and they respected the people outside, and we need to do way more for that, to make sure that society understands how important the arts are for our well-being and for the well-being of society.
Well, I could not have said it better myself. So I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to re-record with you. That was all so poignant to the time and to everything that's happening. So we're so grateful to have someone that is just so well spoken and educated and great at speaking to why we need more arts in our schools and in our society. So this was just so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To wrap it up, I'm Nora, and you can find the Music Inclusion Coalition on all social at Music Inclusion Coalition. You can also visit our website, www.musicinclusioncoalition.com. Jose, where can they find you?
You can find me JoseLeonardoLeon.com. That's my website, and from there you can take it to everywhere you would like to find me. You can find all my social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can also look for me if you want any information about the schools that I teach. You can go to fau.edu or fgcu.edu, and just type my name, and you could also get to that through my website. So that's why I always say my website first, and then from there you can explore all you want. I think that's the easiest way.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. This was just an incredible interview. So I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Thanks for having me here, and thank you for the opportunity.